Gripping a loaded shotgun, a young girl takes aim and shoots her stepfather. Then she stabs her mother to death. After killing her parents, she takes her 3 little sisters and locks them in their room before fleeing the scene. What would drive a teenager to brutally murder their parents? And why would that person intentionally turn their younger siblings into orphans? Before we begin, our sincere condolences go out to all of those who were affected by the abominable acts described in this case. For most, it was a quiet wintry day on March 8, 2015 in snow-covered Rhinelander, Wisconsin. But for the small town of Peel in East Rhinelander, a nightmare had just unfolded. Around 10:45 a.m., 9-year-old Letitia Ayers called 911 from her home in Peel. Police from the Oneida County Sheriff's Station arrived at the house to find the 3 young girls, Letitia, Veronica, and Amanda, ages from 9 to 2, huddled together in their bedroom with snacks and juice. It appeared as if someone had attempted to lock them in their room by tying a phone cord around the doorknob. But they had been able to get out of the room, find a phone, and call 911. On the staircase, police found the body of 40-year-old Jennifer Ayers with a myriad of stab wounds all over her body. Upstairs, police discovered the body of 37-year-old Thomas Ayers. He was lying in the hallway, a gunshot wound through his neck and another through his head. One of the young girls told police they had seen their older sister, 17-year-old Ashlee Martinson, stabbing their mother the day before. This older sister was nowhere to be found, making her the prime suspect. According to information reporters received, it is believed that the murders occurred after a fight broke out between Ashlee, Thomas, her stepdad, and Jennifer, her biological mother. Police believed Ashlee fled the scene in her stepfather's truck, and it wasn't long before they caught up to her.
Driver, roll down the driver window. Driver, with your left hand, open the door from the outside. Driver vehicle, make the place run. Walk backward. Walk backward. Keep walking. 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 Walking. Stop. That's where it goes, keep your hands up. That's where it goes, goes. Hands on your head and left finger.
I didn't see it by the email on the vehicle. It's really on the day that I think the 32 now.
We're actually felony stop now. One female detained, handle the passenger.
Go ahead. Anybody else in the vehicle? Anybody at all? Any weapons or anything like that?
I know what that
Just a knife on her?
I know that my mother called me and said there's something going on with your girlfriend. But I don't put me away. I haven't seen it.
She's in my car.
Why did you say they'll go?
You know what all this is in reference to?
You do.
Kind of have an idea?
I'm assuming it's like a murder.
You what?
I'm assuming it's for what you guys are calling the murder.
Yeah. Yeah, for the investigation of that.
I didn't mean to kill him.
email the pain and being around to you in jail for getting mileage in 160.
When the police found Ashlee, she was with her 22-year-old boyfriend, Ryan Cisco. Police suspected that Ashlee had gotten into a fight with her parents about her overaged boyfriend, and that this fight is what motivated Ashlee to take their lives. Ashlee Ann Rose Martinson was born on March 6, 1998 to Jennifer and Jeremy Martinson in Kansas. Jennifer and Jeremy's marriage didn't last very long. There was a lot of fighting, and the relationship ended in divorce. Ashlee continued to live with her mother in a trailer park located near a sewer plant in Kansas. In 2005, around the time Ashlee was 7 years old, Jennifer invited an old boyfriend who had lost his home during a hurricane to come live with them. This old boyfriend was Jerry Harabi.
Jerry Harabi. I live in Hayes. I came up here in 2005. Came up here, didn't have a whole lot of stuff at all. I also came to Hurricane Katrina from New Orleans. And Jennifer offered me a place to stay, and this place restarted, I guess. We knew each other from childhood and whatnot. Dated off and on, and had occurrences, as young people. We had been dated off and on, and so we were familiar with each other.
Jerry lived with Jennifer and Ashlee for 2 years, and though Jennifer was happy to be in a relationship again, it was not a happy situation, especially for Ashlee. Jerry had anger issues, which escalated when mixed with his regular use of alcohol and drugs.
There was a little bit of fighting. They weren't literally physical. There were just lots of yelling. I'm a lot of bark. Nobody. I'd rather be heard. It's noisy.
Did she ever assault you, Jennifer?
No.
Did you ever assault her?
Possibly, yeah. Jennifer told me that she used to hide under the bridge over by where we lived. She didn't want to hear me yelling. And like I said, I'm pretty vocal, yell a lot. Last night when we get together, yeah, it got physical, and she's seen that, yes.
Was your trailer, private trailer, your three, in a safe environment for a child?
No. I'm a really, if I don't get my way, I'm a big kid, and then I'll let you know by screaming, yelling, and acting a fool. And like I said, in my rage, her mother, and evidently they say I grabbed her on the arm and hurt her as well, so that's not good, and children shouldn't see that.
Ashlee witnessed Jerry physically and sexually abuse her mother. Furthermore, Jerry would torture and kill animals in front of her. Police were called to the home multiple times. Some of these visits landed Jerry in jail, but Jennifer would always bail him out and bring him back into her home. According to Ashlee, it was a family friend, Lou and Kibby, who finally stepped in and got Jennifer to press charges against Jerry and rescued them from that abusive situation. Ashlee and Jennifer lived with Lou Ann until Jennifer was able to get back on her feet and buy a new home for her and her daughter. Eventually, Jennifer was able to purchase a nice home in Hayes, Kansas. At this point, things started to look up for Ashlee and her mother, but Jennifer couldn't handle being single for long and soon began online dating. This is how she met Thomas Ayers. Thomas had been married twice before and had children with both women. When Jennifer met him, he was living in Bottineau, North Dakota, and had custody of his three youngest children, Storm, Letitia, and Veronica. After communicating for 7 months, Jennifer decided to take Ashlee to North Dakota to finally meet Thomas in person during spring break in March. About 2 months later, Jennifer sold their home in Kansas and moved her and Ashlee to North Dakota to live with Thomas. At first, all seemed well and everyone was happy. However, it wasn't long before Thomas's true colors began to surface.
Bought him in North Dakota at first, when we first met and everything. It's actually kind of funny because they met on online dating. Like the first time we went to go meet him, I was 13. We drove all the way to North Dakota from Kansas. It seemed like really good for each other. He was really sweet, good for just like any gentleman would be, that you would expect.
Yeah.
And after last year and a half, maybe 2 years, it's started going downhill. People start showing their true colors.
Thomas isolated his entire family. Jennifer and Ashlee no longer had contact with any of the people they knew. His own children weren't even allowed to have friends come over.
Do you ever have any of your friends come over to your house and play? No. No? How come?
Because my dad said no friends coming over.
Did you guys ever have friends come stay over at the house?
My dad doesn't allow that.
How come?
And he also doesn't allow any boys there. And one time my dad saw that a boy was there, a teenage boy, that my big sister had him at the house, and she got in trouble. And my dad said, get the H out of here.
Do you know who that was? No.
He was just a stranger, I didn't know. But Ashlee knew him. He was fat too and pretty tall.
So no, Dad says nobody can come over to the house. How come?
I don't know why she said that.
You don't know why he said that? Did you ever want to bring somebody over to the house?
I actually wanted to go to somebody's house, but he didn't allow that.
Oh, he didn't allow that either?
To Ashlee's horror, Thomas began to abuse Jennifer and his 3 daughters in horrendous ways. For Ashlee, Thomas used a different method of abuse. His punishment for her was all mental. It involved beating her mother and the younger girls whenever Ashlee got out of line. It turned out that Thomas had an extensive criminal record dating back to 1998. This record included domestic violence, DUI, third-degree assault, kidnapping, and sexual assault towards a child. Thomas had been highly abusive towards his previous wife, Angela Collier. With such a heinous background, somehow Thomas still managed to gain custody of the 3 children.
He seemed like a really nice guy. He's nice to my face, but behind closed doors he was totally different. The only time I could see her is when he wasn't home. He didn't want anybody else in the house. Because he didn't want her to have any friends. Why? He couldn't control her. After she moved to Colorado, I never heard from her until she moved back. A couple years.
Instead of seeking help to protect herself and all of the children from Thomas's abuse, Jennifer married him. Wanting to escape the abusive environment that her mother had chose for them, Ashlee decided to try living with her biological father, Jeremy, in Gorham, Kansas. By the time Ashlee returned to Kansas, people who knew her took notice of the significant changes in her demeanor.
She was just very different. Before she left, she was like a really sweet girl. And whenever she came back, she just seemed a little darker. Like she was kind of goth, and she's always like drawn like dark pictures, but it was even worse whenever she got back, and she seemed a lot more sad when she got back. She just wasn't herself. She wasn't as outgoing anymore, but we were still best friends.
Sadly, life did not improve for Ashlee under Jeremy's roof. She continued to suffer physical abuse, now at the hands of her biological father.
They went out there and beating me.
Okay, so when you went to live with your dad, where was that?
In Gorham, Kansas.
Gorham? Okay. And what grade were you when you first went to live with your dad? 7. Okay, so that would be 10.
I lived with my dad for 6 months. And then we kind of dated in moments, but they kind of ran away until he was abusing me.
she told me it was bad. She told me that he had laid his hands on her and that he was hitting her and treating her wrong and just stuff like that. And so that's why we were going to run away together, because she didn't want to be there. I know that he was mean to her. Even when I was around, he would like yell at her and tell her that she couldn't do things, but I just figured it was just him being a father. But
Did you think he was a nice man?
he kind of scared me.
Why?
To be honest. I don't know. I just felt uncomfortable around him. He scared me. That's why I didn't like staying the night with her. I used to whenever we were really little, but once we grew up, I didn't really like staying the night over there. We used to walk together down to the graveyard all the time, and we'd talk out there because we were all alone, and we just talk about everything. And we actually had talked about running away together, and we were going to do that. And then like the weekend that we were doing it, she had moved back to North Dakota.
Since living with her dad didn't work out, Ashlee ended up going back to live with her mother and stepfather about 6 months later. Thomas never attempted to hide his abuse toward Jennifer from any of the children. Thomas would also threaten to kill Jennifer.
And my mom did not get along very well. And then she just got pissed off for no reason and he'd go off on her. Or sometimes they leave it on with no other. It's different every day.
So what kinds of things were you doing when you get pissed off?
Break stuff, hit her, yell, scream, threaten, kill her.
He even pretended to sexually assault Jennifer in front of Ashlee and her 3 little sisters.
You talked about Thomas pretending to rape your mom. Was it in front of you?
Did it in front of me and the girls.
And the other girls too? And was... I guess I don't know. When you say pretending, like how far pretending?
Pin her down, he'd spread her legs and just like he was raping her. But then he'd tell her she's gonna die. But then he'd say this how I'm gonna make her dad. Just like her dad. He'd get her to the point she was in tears.
Thomas was aware that Jennifer was abused by her father throughout her childhood, and he would use that against her as one of his many methods of breaking her down. The amount of abuse the girls received in that home with Thomas was extensive. According to a Facebook post from November 11, 2019, Ashlee said the abuse included choking them out, open-hand spankings, or spankings with a leather belt on bare skin, biting, closed fist punches, holding them down, forcing them to stand in the corner on their tiptoes with their hands behind their backs for long periods of time, throwing things at them, breaking their possessions, screaming, yelling, and degrading them. Thomas was also sexually abusing the children. Investigators were able to confirm the abuse allegations while interviewing the 2 little girls, Letitia and Veronica.
What happens if you don't do what it says? What happens if you break the rules?
And you get a timeout.
And what happens when you have a timeout?
You get spanking or you stand in the corner on that to the bench.
Oh, you have to stand in the corner with on your tippy toes?
Or get spanking.
Okay. And who would give you a spanking?
My dad, but my mom, when it was like dinner or supper time, my mom told me to stand up by the wall and she spanked me.
And she spanked you? What did she spank you with?
A belt.
A belt? What did the belt look like?
It was my dad's, and it was brown.
It was brown.
Dad got lots of spanking.
So, did Letitia get spanking?
Yeah.
Who would give Letitia a spanking?
My dad mostly.
Your dad mostly? So, did you ever cry when you were at home?
About what?
I don't know. Did you ever cry at your house?
Yeah, not a lot.
Not a lot? What did you cry about?
that I get spanked.
That you get spanking. The rules on the side of your refrigerator, those were made by your mom. But sometimes your dad would spank you too about the rules?
Yeah, we break the rules.
Okay.
Or we lie.
Or you lie. Okay. Okay.
Because I was fine to my dad and he spanked me with a belt.
Okay, so your dad spanked you with the belt if you told a lie?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like if he says that, he said by the t-shirt, and I said yes, and then I finally said no.
Okay, so then you got a spanking? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah? When he spanked you, did he ever spank, was it hard or soft?
Hard.
So did anything ever happen where you got some kind of like a mark on you from something your dad did?
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh God.
Were you ever scared of your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah? How come?
Because he always gives me spankings.
He always gave you spankings? Did your mom and dad ever get mad at Ashlee?
A lot. That's how my dad and my mom got it.
So, did they ever say that they were unhappy with Ashlee?
They did a lot to me, mad at her impulsive behavior to my dad, or he will spank you really hard. He spanks hard.
He spanks hard? Okay. So, when he spanked you, what did he spank you with?
A belt.
A belt, okay.
He wrapped it up with stick.
And then he spanked you 3 times, is that what you said? Okay. So you and Veronica got a spanking?
And we started screaming and crying.
And then what happened?
And then my dad said, "You want another one?" And we're like, no, and he did it anyways.
So, were you scared of your dad?
He is mean. He choked me and Veronica one time. He came in from work and I was only a big. I was a little girl and I punched him in the ear on accident because I didn't know what I was doing. Punched him. He grabbed my neck. He wasn't noticing that he was doing this because he was so tired. He choked me and I started turning different colors. Right now I'd not be here if he actually killed me and I never realized it. And then he realized that he was doing this to me and picked me up and started saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to."
And did you say you saw him do that to Veronica too?
Yeah, he was grabbing Veronica's hair like this, and then Veronica started kicking him, and so that made my dad mad, and Veronica and my dad peed on his hair and choked her. And she was turning red, and she was standing up on the chair, and choked her back to the chair, and then the chair was flipped.
So was that while you were living here?
And he threw her to the ground and started smacking her across the face.
What was that before? Why did he do that?
Because Veronica started kicking him, and he got really mad. And then he Veronica go wash up, and changed into her pajamas, and he went with her. And so I'm sorry, I just got really mad at you for doing that. Never do that again.
Did you ever see your dad hurt your mom?
Sometimes.
What would he do?
Hit her. But sometimes he would smack her across the face or hold her down.
So she did not like to play like that, but that's how he played.
He plays rough, and I do not like. And every time my dad was holding her down, and my mom was screaming, and said stop, stop, stop. So my dad, when he let go, my mom went by me and he was giving me a dirty look. She does this every time my dad does something mean to her.
So
I don't know why she gives me a dirty look. It just makes me really upset why she would do that. I mean, I didn't do anything.
But she gives you a dirty look. So what kind of mean things did your dad do to your mom?
Sometimes he would smash her, and he would boss her around a lot.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Of all of the children, Thomas abused Veronica the most because she has Turner's syndrome, a condition that can cause multiple health and learning disabilities. In Veronica's case, it affected her speech and language.
Did Veronica ever have a mark on her neck?
No, it was just a big red mark, and then it went away.
Well, where did it come from?
My dad.
What happened?
Remember the choking thing? Something.
Did she ever have a black eye? Veronica? How did she get a black eye?
I think my dad punched her in the eye and she got a black eye.
Why did he punch her in the eye?
I forgot. But I know she had a black eye before.
And so, what did she do about that? Did she go to school with a black eye? What did she tell everybody?
She didn't tell anyone anything because my dad would get really mad at her.
Oh, he would? Did he tell you not to say anything, or?
Yeah, don't say anything.
Don't say anything about what?
About the black eye.
Did you hear him say that?
He even told it to me.
What did he say?
He said, don't tell anybody that I punched her in the eye.
At some point, Jennifer became abusive towards the children as well, including her own daughter. With Thomas's influence, Jennifer became jealous and resentful towards the children, to the point that she kicked Storm, Thomas's oldest of the three girls, out of the house. In spite of Jennifer's jealousy towards Thomas, the two did not seem to get along. For a short while, Ashlee, Letitia, and Veronica were the only children in the home after Storm was kicked out. However, Jennifer and Thomas soon had a child of their own, little Amanda. According to Ashlee, it wasn't long before Thomas began abusing Amanda along with the rest of the family, which Letitia and Veronica bear witness to.
Amanda got lots of spankings.
Amanda did? What did Amanda get spankings for?
We're doing stuff that she's not supposed to.
Well, what's she not supposed to do?
Be on the dog or do other stuff that she's not supposed to.
Did you say be on the dog? Is that what you said she did wrong, is to be on the dog? Would that be she'd be like climbing on the dog or something? So she would get a spanking for that? Who would do that?
My dad.
Your dad? Did she cry?
And she just cried and then stop.
And then she'd stop, okay.
Yep.
What else would she do that would get her, that she might get a spanking for?
I forgot the rest.
You forgot the rest? But she got more spankings than you?
I know she did.
She got more than both of you together?
Yeah.
How about Amanda? Has Amanda ever been spanked?
Yeah, she was the most one that got spanked.
So who would spank Amanda?
My dad. He would spank her really hard.
What did he spank her with?
His hand.
His hand? Okay. And what did he spank you guys with?
About his hand. And Amanda, she had to do it too. Every time she did not stand on her tippy toes, my dad would grab her by the hair and start pulling her up. Then she would stand on her tippy toes.
He would grab her by the hair to get her to stand up? Do you think she knew how to do that? No, poor little girl, huh?
She was only 1, too. They made her do it.
Thomas always made sure that his family understood that he was in charge of the household and that anyone that didn't follow the rules was going to be punished.
Because he is the boss of the house in the household. He's the #1 boss.
How do you know that?
Because my dad, that's what my mom told me and my dad told me.
That he's the #1 boss? So you have to do what he says?
Around June 2014, Ashlee's family moved to Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Though Thomas wasn't supposed to own weapons due to his previous violations, their house sported a variety of ammunition and loaded guns, which were scattered throughout the house.
So then we, back to the guns. There's lots of guns in the house. Where are they kept? I mean, I know where some of them were, but where are they kept?
We kind of puts them all around the house. Sometimes in the living room, dining room, cabin, his room. There is a gun safe. Pretty much everywhere throughout the house.
Are those guns loaded?
I have no idea.
Well, some of them are. Why are they loaded? What is your dad thinking?
I don't know. I don't know what he thinks into that.
Well, I mean, is he afraid of somebody? Or what? Why are there loaded guns in the house?
He wasn't even supposed to have guns.
I didn't hear.
He wasn't even supposed to have guns.
Oh, he wasn't supposed to have guns? Okay. Why not?
Because he got arrested for assault against one of his ex-wives.
Jennifer's jealousy towards her own daughter became so severe that she got to the point where she wanted Ashlee out of the house.
I was already planning on leaving. Since I just turned 17, I already had some things saved up. My mom wanted me out. My stepdad wanted me to stay.
Here's some things that I know. Alright. I know that you're hurt by your mom. Wanting you kicked out of the house. I know that hurt you a lot. I know what made you angry. Because you and your mom were close. You had plans to leave, right? You guys were gonna get out of town, start a new life. Now your mom wants you out of the house. If I was in your shoes, I would be really hurt and really angry.
Sometime after moving to Wisconsin, Thomas brought home 2 little German Shepherd puppies. However, they did not last long. Just like everyone else who lived in Thomas's house, the puppies were expected to follow strict rules as well. Since they couldn't, he beat them and shot them, though the children begged him not to.
Did you have any pets? What kind of pets did you have?
Diesel and Buddy. But Buddy's dad killed my dad, and Diesel is with my neighbor.
Well, tell me all about Buddy dying. How did that happen?
He was not listening.
Oh, and so what happened? Tell me all about that.
So my dad threw him around and he probably shot him.
How do you know that?
That's because he told me.
He told you what?
That he did that.
So, whose puppy was Diesel? Was that whose dog was that?
Someone else's.
Someone else's? And whose dog was Buddy?
It was not one of. It was in the pet store.
Oh, it was in the pet store?
Yeah.
So you went to the pet store and you got Diesel and Buddy?
Oh, my dad did.
Your dad, and he brought them home?
Yeah. My dad said, Buddy is this.
Oh, okay. Did your dad like Buddy? Did your dad like Buddy?
No.
No? You didn't think so?
Because he didn't listen.
So did your dad ever get mad at Buddy? And what did he do?
Shot him.
He shot him. And
that's when I was there when Jesus left.
You guys weren't there though?
Still when that happened.
Oh, okay. Were you sad that happened?
Yeah. I said, I told me only have one dog. And then Dad said, I threw him around and I killed him.
He said he threw him around and killed him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dad grabbed the dog and put it where he put his flair, and he said it.
Was this your dog or somebody else's dog?
Oh no, the dog.
Oh, okay.
And that's how mad he is. When he's mad, this what he grabs a gun and he grabs the dog. That's how mad he gets.
He grabbed the dog? When he gets mad, he grabs the dog?
So first he shoots up in the air, then he grabs the dog from that thing. It was our neighbor, but
so he shoots up in the air outside?
Yeah.
Oh, not in the house though. Okay. Did you have any pets?
Yeah, Buddy and Jason.
Okay, and
German Shepherd.
German Shepherd. And how old were they?
They just got born. Like when I first got them, they were just born 2 weeks ago. No, 1 week ago.
So how long did you have them?
Only a couple days. Buddy and Dad killed my dad, shot him. Diesel was with my neighbor.
How do you know that Buddy's dead?
Because my dad told me that he shot him. And he fed him to a bear.
Why would he do that?
He wouldn't listen, and I told him, put him in a shelter, and maybe not just teaching him right. He's like, well, if I give him to someone else, they're just going to shoot him. Would you rather me shoot him or them shoot him? And I'm like, none. You're just teaching him wrong, probably. He was like that when we first got him. He was like a scared dog. He was mean to the dog Buddy.
What did he do to the dog Buddy?
Choked him on the couch, and the dog started making a choking sound, and he threw him against the wall, and then he threw him outside because he got mad at him that he was not listening. And he also went under the porch, and my dad threatened me that he said he's going to shoot him at night, and he shot a bullet up in the air and pretended like he shot him. And then I'm like, Daddy, I don't like you. And he's like, you don't like me? That means you don't want me. Get your coat on and get your boots on and leave this house. He told me to live somewhere else. So the reason why he said that is because he wanted me to see that he didn't really kill him. When I walked out of that door, I started crying, and I just threw the door to the dog.
So you saw him choke the dog?
Yeah. And it really almost made me cry, and I ran up in my room.
And you saw him throw the dog up against the wall?
And I heard him, and I saw him.
You saw him actually do that?
Yeah.
What did the dog do?
It started yelping, and it was scared of my dad.
What wall did he throw it up against?
The outside one. And then he threw him to the couch, and then he grabbed him by the neck, put him on the couch, and started choking him.
And what was he saying?
He said bad words and saying, you stupid dog, don't listen to me, this is what happens.
To relieve some of her bottled up emotions from her ongoing trauma, Ashlee took up 2 artistic hobbies, drawing dark and disturbing images and writing equally disturbing poetry. Ashlee would post her work on a blog under the name Vamp Chick. The last poem she posted was on March the 2nd, just 5 days before Ashlee would take the lives of her mother and stepfather. With her 17th birthday just around the corner, Ashlee was done living in a household of abuse and was finally ready to move out, something she had been planning for a while. In order to move out, Thomas had made an extensive list of rules she had to follow. To Ashlee's dismay, her dreams of freedom crashed down around her once Thomas discovered that she was dating 22-year-old Ryan. To punish Ashlee for breaking the rules, Thomas went after Jennifer, and Ashlee had to watch as her mother was beaten once again by her stepfather. After the abusive scene came to an end, Ashlee messaged her boyfriend Ryan, telling him how much she wanted to kill Thomas for beating her mother again.
Now I think she's going to leave once the money starts coming in. I hate him too. I want to kill him so bad. just take one of his guns and blow his brains out.
To further punish Ashlee, Thomas took away her phone and car and told her that she was going to be imprisoned in that house for the rest of her life. He then sent Ashlee to her room. Feeling trapped and seeing no hope of ever escaping the hell she was living, Ashlee grabbed a shotgun Thomas had left in the upstairs hallway near her bedroom. Closing the door behind her, she sat on her bed and placed the end of the loaded shotgun in her mouth. She sat there, toying with the trigger, until she heard Thomas knocking on her door. At that moment, Ashlee went into a state of panic. She sat up, pointed the shotgun at the door, and as Thomas opened the door to walk in, Ashlee pulled the trigger. Panicked, Ashlee ran downstairs. Realizing that she was still holding the shotgun, she dropped it to the ground. Having been alarmed by the shot, Jennifer ran over to see what was happening. She saw Ashlee drop the shotgun, so she ran upstairs to find Thomas lying in the hallway with a wound to his neck. Terrified, Jennifer grabbed a decorative knife that was nearby. Ashlee tried to explain to her mother what had happened, but in her state of shock, words escaped her. Before she could figure out what to say, her mom started yelling at her.
She's telling me it's my fault.
What do you mean it's your fault?
All of that's happening, she just said it was my fault.
Surprisingly, Jennifer came at Ashlee with the knife.
And then she grabbed the knife that was on the shelf, and she came after me with it. That's how I got I tried to take it from her, and I sliced my hand on the knife, and I finally caught it. And I stabbed her with it because we were trying to get the knife from me again.
Okay. And how did you stab her? I don't know what you mean. Where did you stab her?
I don't know. I just started stabbing and fighting with my life. I was so scared.
Okay. Do you have any idea how where on her body you stabbed her? And do you know anything like how you were holding the knife? I mean, if let's say this pen, I mean, if this is the handle and this is the point, just like the point, can you show me how you held the knife? Like what position? Because there's a lot of different ways. Okay, like that? So it was more, it was like this, not like this. Because it tells a little bit about people. Okay. So it looks like you got cut 3 times? Twice?
Even 3.
Okay. Okay, how many times do you think your mom got cut? If you had to guess.
No.
You don't know? Okay. But something happened there to make you so mad that you stabbed her a lot. You stabbed her a lot. And some of the stab wounds are after she was dead. So, you know what that tells me? That tells me somebody was really hurt and really looking to try to figure out why am I being blamed for this. And really mad that she had to go and get it to this point.
Where was the last place you ever stabbed? When you and your mom were fighting, what was being said?
Without realizing it, Ashlee had stabbed her mother more than 30 times. After shooting Thomas one last time, Ashlee went back in her room, leaned the shotgun against the wall, and sat on her bed, dazed by all that had transpired. Unaware of how long she sat in her bewildered state, Ashlee was abruptly pulled back to reality when the shotgun fell to the floor with a loud crash. At that moment, she remembered her 3 sisters were still in the house. She quickly ran downstairs and located them in a living room. She distracted them with cartoons while she hurriedly showered to rid herself of the blood that soaked her skin and clothes. After showering, she bandaged her wounds and placed the knife that she had used to kill her mother on the bathroom sink before returning to her sisters. Ashlee took her sisters and placed them in their bedroom. She provided them with snacks, juice, and a cell phone. She then attempted to lock them in their room so they wouldn't see the images of their parents lying dead on the floor. Having an urgent need to leave the house, Ashlee went to the safest, closest place that she could think of, her friend Jonathan Rasmussen's house, who lived just down the road. Her boyfriend Ryan happened to be there. Together, they decided to go to Tennessee, where Ryan was from. They went back to Ashlee's house and got into the truck that was in Thomas's name to begin their journey to Tennessee. Ryan was unaware of what had taken place between Ashlee and her parents, but he soon found out after he and Ashlee were caught in Indiana.
Did it feel real?
It didn't then, or it doesn't now?
Then it didn't.
It didn't seem real?
I felt like I was in a daze.
Alright.
I was in a daze. It's like trying to remember a dream that I had.
Okay. Did it feel like... Did your body feel different than normal? What did it feel like?
It's a dream. I was there, but wasn't.
You weren't mad?
Just all came out.
What all came out?
Emotions.
What emotion?
Anger, sadness.
According to Ashlee, there was no motive for killing Thomas or Jennifer. It was not a premeditated decision. It all happened in a moment of pure panic and the overwhelming emotions from all the years of abuse that came crashing down on her all at once. Renee Crosshell, the woman who took Ashlee's sisters after the murders, heard a great deal about what went on in the Ayers home from speaking with Letitia and Veronica.
Ashlee was mad at her for letting the father do it, just because the girls had said that the mother would never step in when he would hit the girls. She would never stop. She would never say, stop it. She would never jump in to stop him from hitting. She would stand there and watch. And I think she was just as afraid of him because she knew she would get beat if she tried to stop it. So I think Jennifer was very afraid of Tom. And I think Ashlee got mad, but shouldn't have taken it out on Jennifer. I don't think so. But there again, Jennifer should have called out for help. She should have, said, hey, I got an abusive husband. I need help. He's hitting my kids. He's hitting me. Verbally, physically. But you hear from other abuse cases that you get to that point where you're so afraid, you are so afraid to call out for help because they threaten you and say, you ever ask for help or you ever do this, and I'll kill you. So you don't know what Tom had said to her or why she always stood on the sidelines and watched and let it happen. Why did she? Why didn't she step in? Why didn't she say, stop hitting my child? Why? And I think Ashlee got mad at that and said, you're just as much to blame. And I think that's why she did it. That's my personal thing, is because she's like, you know what, if you don't have the guts to stand up and protect your own children.
Ashlee's trial began about a year after the murders of Jennifer and Thomas. Ashlee was 17 at the time of the crimes and was tried as an adult. She was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. She was also convicted of false imprisonment for locking up and abandoning her little sisters. Though Ashlee fully admitted to killing her mother and stepfather to investigators, her lawyers encouraged her to plead not guilty in hopes of using an insanity defense to get her a highly reduced sentence. Ashlee's attorneys tried to get her only 8 years in prison, focusing the court's attention on the extensive amount of abuse that Ashlee received from all of her parental figures throughout her life. The prosecuting attorney, Oneida County District Attorney Michael Sheik, wanted Ashlee to serve 40 years in prison, the maximum amount of extended supervision allowed under the law. People who knew Ashlee believed that such an extensive sentence was unfair.
I don't feel like she should be sentenced for that long. I realize what she did was wrong, but I feel like she didn't. I don't feel like I feel like she didn't have another choice. Like, that's how she felt. I felt like she might have felt so pushed to where she felt like that was the only way out. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was happening to her, but that's not Ashlee.
Some people who didn't know Ashlee also agreed that the prosecutor's request was too much.
I think Ashlee just snapped. How long did she put up with this? Is the question. How long can somebody take till they just say, I just can't take it anymore, and they just snap? You know, they just like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. You know, and you wonder what goes through her head at that point. And I always wondered that, is, you know, did she just tell herself, I'm not going to let what happened to me happen to the girls? In my opinion, I think that's part of how I foresee it, is she snapped to the point where if he's going to do it to me and he's doing it to Jennifer, he's going to do it to the girls.
I think 40 years is too much, and I think 8 years might not be quite enough. I think at least 10 years. At least 10 years.
Why do you come up with that?
Because, well, I think a decade would give her something to hold on to, and when she feels that guilt and she feels that shame, like me, she'll know she's served time, she's done time, and in ways that'll help find her a path towards forgiveness.
Why not more for retribution?
Well, because there comes a point where she'll no longer be an asset to society. Like me, I was released when I was 36 years old, and that's enabled me to go down a very positive path. Had I been, right now I'm 43, had I just started doing the things I am now at 43, I wouldn't have had the energy, I wouldn't have had the motivation. I would have felt like my life was pretty much over.
In the end, Ashlee was given the option to accept a plea deal, which she did agree to. As part of that deal, Ashlee would serve 23 years in prison, along with having 17 years of supervision. According to the presiding judge, Michael Bloom, Ashlee did not have to make the choice to kill her parents because at no point was her life in danger, even though Ashlee suffered a significant amount of abuse at the hands of Jennifer and Thomas. The court felt Ashlee had to be punished because they could not allow society to think that homicide, even when provoked, can be tolerated. Ashlee was sent to the Taishita Correctional Institution in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin to serve her sentence. In June of 2017, Ashlee and her lawyer attempted to have her sentence reduced, arguing that she was incapable of making a rational decision on that fateful day when she killed her parents because she was stuck in such an overwhelmingly abusive environment. Nonetheless, Judge Michael Bloom denied their motion, and Ashlee continues to spend her days in jail, waiting for the day when she will have the chance to reunite with her little sisters. Child abuse cases have been on the rise in Wisconsin since 2011. Between 2011 and 2014, the number of reported child abuse cases rose from 38,858 to 42,854. In 2015, the cases began to decrease, but only by about 400. Cases began to spike once again in 2018, jumping to almost 45,000. However, they decreased tremendously in 2020, lowering to just 34,916. But according to reports from 2021, cases are on the rise again. Letitia, Veronica, and Amanda were placed in foster care together on March 8, 2015, the day they were found home alone with their two dead parents. They lived with Renee Crosshell in Oneida County, Wisconsin, until August of 2015. Renee witnessed the abuse the girls had suffered from the marks they had on their bodies and the stories they shared. Furthermore, she was able to witness how years of abuse had affected their mental state.
When they originally first came, and Oneida County had taken pictures of any markings and all that, that we had noticed that Amanda's bottom was red. The girls had bruises here and there. Leticia had said that her dad would spank Amanda until she would cry herself to sleep. And when Amanda was very hard little girl to get to sleep. And when she told me, she says, just spank her, spank her until she cries herself to sleep, because that's what my dad does. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. And I said, no, we're not going to do that.
Ashlee understands that she made a terrible choice that fateful day she took the lives of her mother and stepfather. Still, she believes that her choice set her and her sisters free. Ashlee may have to spend 23 years stuck in jail, but she's not just surviving, she's thriving. Ashlee has done her best to stay productive while serving her time, finishing her high school and receiving her diploma. In addition, Ashlee has held multiple jobs while in prison, from dishwasher to salad maker to baker to janitor. Ashlee has worked her way up. Her current position is that of visiting room photographer. Though Ashlee is doing well for herself in prison and is doing her best to keep her head up, she still has hopes that her sentence could be reduced, and she wants the world to know. Quoting here, I was an abused child who couldn't take another moment of abuse. I was protecting myself and my three bounded sisters who were living in that household, suffering from verbal, physical, mental, and sexual abuse. As I've come to learn, sexual abuse can come in different forms. He convinced my mother that him and I were having a sexual relationship so that she would hate me and not trust me. She played into it and believed him, though it was not true. The other sexual abuse was that he watched porn in front of us all. He showed me pictures and videos of him having sex with my mom. He showed me pictures of his penis. But at that time, that was so mild in comparison to the other abuse that I didn't even realize that it was a form of sexual abuse. If you believe you know a minor that may be suffering from abuse, please speak up, call or text the Child Help Hotline at 1-800-4A-CHILD, 1-800-422-4453. You can also visit their website at childhelphotline.org. If you found this case compelling, don't forget to like the video, comment down below your take on it, and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the notification bell in order to stay up to date each time we reveal a new shocking case. Until next time, stay safe and keep your eyes peeled. You never know what's lurking in the shadows.